Accounts 5 through 8 of the poem called Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, written between 1300 and 1400. I hope that your time here at the Rose and Anvil Tavern has replenished your spirits. Just close your eyes, rest and relax as before, while the fire warms you. Part 5. But Arthur would not eat till all were served. He was so joyous a youth, and somewhat boyish. He liked his life lively. He loved the less, either to long lie idle or to long sit. So busied him his young blood and his brain wild. And also another matter moved him so, that he had nobly named he would never eat on such dear days before he had been advised of some adventurous thing, an unknown tale, of some mighty marvel that he might believe, of ancestors, arms, or other adventures, or else till someone beseeched for some sure knight to join with him in jousting and jeopardy to lay down life for life, allow each to the other, as fortune might favor them, a fair advantage. This was the king's custom, when he in court was, at each fine feast among his many friends in hall. Therefore, with fearless face, he stands straight and tall, full lively at that new year. Much mirth he makes with all. Part 6. Thus there stands straight and tall the king himself, talking at the high table of trifles full courtly. Their good Gawain was graced by Guinevere beside, and Agravain a la Durmain on the other side sits, both the king's sister sons and full sure knights. Bishop Baldwin above, he begins the table, and Uwaine, Urien's son, ate alongside him. These sat high on the day, and deftly served, and many another sat sure at the side tables. Then the first course came with crack of trumpets, with many a banner full bright that thereby hung, new noise of kettle drums and noble pipes, wild warbles and wide wakened echoes. Then many a heart full high heaved at their notes, dainties drawn in therewith of full dear meats, foods of the freshest, and in such vials of dishes, they find no room to place them, people before, and to set the silver that holds such servings on cloth, each his load as he liked himself, they're ladled and nothing loath. Every two had dishes 12, good beer and bright wine both. Part 7. Now will I of their service say you no more, for each man may well know no want was there. Another noise full new neared with speed, that would give the Lord leave to take meat, for scarce was the noise not a while ceased, and the first course in the court duly served. There hails in at the hall door a dreadful man, the most in the world's mold of measure high, from the nape to the waist so swart and so thick, and his loins and his limbs so long and so great, half giant on earth I think now that he was, but the most of man anyway I mean him to be, and that the finest in his greatness that might ride. For of back and breast though his body was strong, both his belly and waist were worthily small, and his features all followed his form made and clean. Wonder at his hue men displayed, set in his semblance seen, he fared as a giant were made, and over all deepest green. Part 8. And all garbed in green this giant and his gear, a straight coat full tight that stuck to his sides, a magnificent mantle above, massed within, with pelts paired pertly, the garment a gleam, with blithe ermine full bright, and his hood both, that was left from his locks and laid on his shoulders, neat well-hauled hose of that same green, that clung to his calves, and sharp spurs under, of bright gold, on silk stockings rich barred, and no shoes under sole were the same rides. And all his vesture verily was bright verdure, both the bars of his belt and other bright stones, that were richly rayed in his bright array, about himself and his saddle, on silk work. It were tortuous to tell of these trifles, the half, embroidered above with birds and butterflies, with gay gaudy of green, the gold ever inmost. The pendants of his harness, the proud cropper, his bridle, and all the metal enamelled was then. The stirrups he stood on stained with the same, and his saddle bows after, and saddle skirts, ever glimmered and glinted all with green stones. The horse he rode on was also of that hue, certain, a green horse great and thick, a steed full strong to restrain, embroidered bridle quick. To the giant he brought gain. I will stop here. I have to go downstairs to the tavern and restock the pottage kettle, but I will be back later and continue with part 9 through 12 of Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. If you enjoyed my reading, please like and subscribe and stay a little longer here at the Rose and Anvil Tavern.